Hello, good morning. Well, it's morning for me, it's 9:30. So welcome. I just thought I'd hit go live because I've been working on a new video for adding JWTs or JWTs to a Fastify server. And I think better when I'm trying to teach people out loud or in real life. So if there are people here, that's awesome. If there aren't, then that's awesome too. I'm going to use what I talk about and how I talk about things here to help to get the video ready for my channel. People apparently have been wanting this video, and yeah, I feel like I probably should do something about that. So what we're aiming to sort of expand upon my channel is the last video in this series, this Fastify series that I released, was this one. It's called, I think this title probably needs updating. It says Basic Authentication Explained. And oh, what a lovely frozen picture of myself there. Can I move to be slightly better? I don't know. Got funny pointy hair going on as well. And I've noticed I'm a bit transparent here, so I'm gonna make myself, oh, that's weird. I feel like I'm a bit transparent, but oh well, we'll cope with that. So this video was about basic authentication, and it was basically implementing username and password. So you would send a username and password over the wire, and we would check how we can do that. So we went through these 5 steps to store the password, check the header, decode the header, find the correct user, and compare the password. Now, that is potentially a lot of work. Checking the header and decoding the header we can't do without. Finding the correct user and comparing the password requires a round trip to the database each time, which can be costly. And so one of the things that we can do instead is that we can have a round trip to the database on a login route and provide our user with an authentication token. So in future, when they want to access a protected route, they send us the authentication token. We decode the authentication token, and if that's valid, we assume that they are who they say they are. So it reduces the load in our database without having to do this. It's pretty secure still, and it speeds up what we're doing. So we've already got the bit where we're storing this password safely in the database when the user is being created. It's the other bit where we're going to need to implement a login route. We're going to need to what are we going to need to do?
So let's get stuck in.
Let's have a think.
The first thing we'll do is we'll update our user model to have a password field.
I can hear myself, so I'm going to get rid of that. So what are we going to do? We are going to let's make that a bit bigger, teeny tiny. There we go. We are going to, number one, what do we want to do? We want to, well, I don't know, I'm not sure how to order these yet. I'm going to provide a login route, and that's going to take the username and password and return a JWT. We want to, so some people say JWT, some people say JWT, but it's JSON Web Token is what it's saying. We want to protect routes with JWTs. So that will mean we'll need to validate the JWT and sort of have error handling. If not, I think largely that's what we will want to do. So let's look at our code that we have already. So this is following on from the video that video series. And it's interesting coming back to look at this. It's been about a year since I've added a video to this. And I've had a couple of production Fastify projects since then. And I think one of the things, this is 14 months ago, one of the things that I would not do if I was re-implementing this project, and I might think about another video that fixes this, is I'm using CommonJS, and I would like to migrate everything over to using ESM, so the import require kind of syntax. That's one minor thing I have going on there. The other thing is that when I started this series, I was almost exclusively an Express developer, and so there's some Expressness has snuck in. So this using middlewares is not really what Fastify does. Fastify registers plugins rather than using middlewares, and I understand that process a little bit better now than I did before. So if I was to redo this project, I would probably think about that as well. And the other thing is probably just how I'm structuring the routes. I am using the this controller, but I probably would wrap that as a plugin and do that slightly differently. But this is where we are. I have a user route that we can get all the users, we can get user ID, we can create a user, and that's being protected by, that's currently being protected by basic auth, so username and password. We can put and we can delete. Our user model has just got first name, last name, email, role, and password. It has a pre-hook, save hook, which says if we change the password, if it's new, create an encrypted password, a salted password that's then pushed up to the database. So our plain text is never in the database. And then it also has this method that we created in the last video called compare password, which uses bcrypt's compare component to be able to check if there's if the password is valid. Because obviously the password is coming from the users in plain text. The passwords that come to our database is not, it's salted, and it's encrypted rather, and so we want to be able to get that back again. So to help with this, I am going to use the Fastify JSON Web Token library. Oh, that's the other thing, I probably would do this in TypeScript if I started this again. Maybe I should have a whole migration thing going on. And you can see here, actually it's relatively straightforward. We'll just see what's happening. So I have a, I'm going to import this module, require it, and register it with a key. And this is super secret. This would be something that should be kept private. Then, when we have someone with a login method, we'd do our validation. We would check whether or not the username and password was valid, and if it was, we would then return our a token. And later on in future, we on the request we can use a JWT verify, and what that's going to do is it's going to check. It's going to try to decrypt the token with a super secret key, and it's going to check, hey, is this valid? Is this right? Is this match? And if it does, great. If it doesn't, it's going to reply an error. And so then to use it later on, that's going to be used everywhere else. We'll be able to see what's going on, but we can also do it by route. And so we'll look at both. We'll look at, this is how you do it by route. So we'll look at how we might handle that and explore that a little bit as we go through. Alrighty, so that's the plan. I haven't used this project in a while, so I should probably npm install and npm run dev, and we should try to post to it. So what port are we on? Does it tell me? Awesome. I love when I have not told myself useful things, eh? So where am I listening? Port 5000 if there isn't a port. And this has now been updated since the last time I used this. This should have a slightly different way of doing it. It says listen is deprecated. I should be doing here. Should be doing yeah, I can't remember this now. Okay, well I'll check if it's working, and if it is working, I won't get too bogged down by trying to fix it. So I want to, this is Bruno, I want to create a collection for my Fastify YouTube, and inside of, and I'll put it in, here, so Fastify YouTube. Bruno is an open source API client that allows you to sort of source control your collections and your API requests, which can be just super handy. It stores them as text files, and it's super helpful. So I'm going to check HTTP localhost 5000, and let's check if we can try to construct a route. API version 1 projects. Let's try that. API version 1 projects. That should be in there. and this should say get all projects. Let's create, and then let's send it. It's taking a long time, isn't it? Oh, great. MongoDB isn't active. Of course not. Can't remember the last time I used Mongo on this computer. Great, good to find these things out now, isn't it? So how would I do that quickly? I would, I guess I'd use Docker maybe. So so I guess I want to use Docker and MongoDB. So cool. So my command line, I'll do docker pull mongo latest. It's going to pull down the latest image saying, oh, you don't have Docker running. I use orb stack for that because I find it slightly faster than Docker desktop. So, and I say slightly, extremely faster. So I'll do that. So it's pulling down a the image of Mongo, and then I'm going to run it. So we've got 3 people in. How are we all doing? We're doing well. Just to say what we're planning, we are adding on to this Fastify server. We are going to add JWTs, the ability to use JWTs to authenticate and to protect our routes. So we're going to, once we check everything's up and running, and we're going to provide a login route, and we're going to protect all the routes and then individual routes, and we'll explore the difference between those two things. Alrighty, so that's been pulled down. And the next thing I want to do is docker run in daemon mode. I want to map port 27017 on my local machine to 27017 the internal machine. I want to call up MongoDB so I can find it, and I want to use Mongo latest image to host it. Awesome. So now I'm hoping if I do npm run dev, and if I try to get all of my projects to come back to an empty object, fantastic. Okay, so I probably should create a new user. So let's create a new user. Create new user. So we want to post. We want to post on HTTP localhost 5000/API/v1/user. We'll create on that. We want the body to be a JSON body. We'll call it, what fields do we want for our user? Let's go check our model. Our model has a name, a first name, a last name, a email, a role, which is one of these. I'll do team member, and a password. So let's do that. So first name, I'm still called. And then last name, oops, not key one. That's good. That'd be a good name though. Last name, Cunningham. Email is Cunningham.co.uk. My role, I think I'll do team member. I think that was one of the enums. My password is going to be password because I'm super secure. Let's see if I missed anything. Let's send this request. Brilliant. Users, maybe. No authorization header. Interesting. So auth, I think I had a header. I did this way back. So I think this is X API key and super secret. So there's a couple of videos in that series where I set that as a way to do that. And if this doesn't work, I can go and dig it out a bit more. Yeah. So let's see. The route I'm trying to look at is posting here. It's basic auth. Okay, so we actually haven't got that. So we don't have a user to manage basic auth, so I'm just going to get rid of that for now and check if that works now. Hey, internal validation rule, team member is not a valid enum for the path rule. Brill, I love debugging live. Team members lowercase m. But I might change that because it says team manager is uppercase M. I don't like that, so I'm gonna just take this, replace that. Oh no, not that. Do member. There we go. Take that. Woo! Okay, so we get back our ID from our database, we get back our password, and our team member. I fixed this in the last video. I don't really want the password always coming back. But I think if I get my user here, the password will come back. Yes, okay. So the password doesn't come back when I get, but it will be there. So have a username, have password, and what we do, how about we say get all projects should be a protected route. So I will create a project. Actually, I'll get all the projects first of all, blah, blah, blah. That seems to be fine. I will then protect it. Protect it with, where's our routes for projects? Get all projects. I'm going to say here in my pre-handler, remind myself what it looks like, pre-handler. So here I want pre-handler to be basic auth. So I think this will complain that I don't have an authentication header, brilliant authorization header. So we're going to auth, change this to basic auth, username, I think it's the email, and the password is password. So if I send this now, I should be able to get my empty object. Cool. So that's basic auth, it's working. But in order for that to work, every time I send a request, I am running through the logic. That is, we check the logic in this, I'm running through this logic. I am getting the header. I am checking if the header exists. I'm splitting the header. I'm decoding the header. I'm getting email and password. I'm then getting the user from the database, if there's no users there, and then running this potentially expensive operation to compare the passwords, and then I'm moving on to see there. So what I'm going to do instead, and what we're going to try to implement inside of here instead, is our JWT. Okay, so I'll have a function, it's going to be async as well, and it's going to be our JWT authentication. All of these will have a request and a reply, and we'll explore a little bit about what we're going to do here later on. I think I'm probably going to encapsulate this slightly differently. I'm probably going to think about this as decorating a Fastify instance, and so I know how to do that now, and so we'll explore that maybe a little bit more as we go. So let's see. Now that it's running, I'm going to quit it, and I am going to no, that's not what I wanted. I said aha, but that's aha to the wrong thing. This one. So yes. So I'm going to get this up and running, and then we can modify it. So npm install fastify/JWT or JWT. My friend Simon, who's a very experienced Fastify Node developer, looked at me like I was very strange when I said the word JWT. Like, what are you talking about? Like, oh, JWT then. It's like, yeah, okay. So I have instantiated my Fastify instance, registered my database, got basic auth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to register. I'm going to say fastify.register. And I'm going to, inside of here, I will require my Fastify JWT. And then I will pass in my secret. And my secret is going to be my process.env JWT secret. Alright, so I'll go my env file. I'll have a line called JWT secret. And I'll say, this is very secret. Okay, it's not really, but that is what's going to be used to encrypt my password. So I'll start this up again, npm on dev, going to be fine, connect to the database, everything looks good, and this has been registered now. So now that it's been registered, I can provide a sign-up route. So I'm going to, or a login route maybe a login route. Let's have a think about how we might want to do this. So I'm going to probably put this in the user routes, to be honest. So I'm going to say I'll create a fastify.per post probably, and I wanted to post on login. And I'll use a user controller rather than creating a brand new controller. Login user. I kept the separation of concerns here. I think again, if I was doing this another time from scratch, I would probably do some more of this in line rather than try and do this all in one go. Login user request and reply. Okay, and we'll export this function down here. Login user, and let's see what we're going to do. So we'll do a try catch. What do we want to do? We want to auth the user and then return a token. Seems good. So I will get my user object. So const. So I do have that auth function. What does that do? Did all that kind of stuff. So this time what I'm thinking is username and I'm not going to, this is going to be sent in plain text over the wire. I'm going to do this bit here. So let's copy this into here. We'll talk about what's going on. So what we've got user equals find one from the email and the password. Where am I getting the email and the password from? I'm getting them from the request. So I say const email and password. I'm going to expect that those are in the request.body. Let's hope they are. I guess if they're not, we should return early. So if not email or not password, then you might want to say, oi you. Oh, I am online, you're right. Oi you, stop and move away. Step away from the keyboard. So I'll do return reply dot status 401. Oops, and send error password, email and password required. Alright, so let's just check that that's doing something useful. So let's add another request. We'll call this login. We want to post. What do we want to post to? We want to post to HTTP localhost 5000 / user API /version1 / users / login. I'm going to post. So if I post on this, I'm hoping to get a 401. Brilliant. Again, unspecified under the what have I done wrong? Nobody. I have to send some kind of JSON. Yeah, so I'll have to send a JSON if it's there. I should probably have some error handling that if it's not there. So what was that error I got? So there's no body and I send that. I get a unsupported media type error. That seems like something I can fix in here. So if I do if I console log the error just to see if it looks the same here, I imagine it does, but let's just double check. I'll send that and I will come over here. Brilliant. I love it when a good plan comes together. Why is that not coming here? It's inside the try catch. It's throwing an error. Why are you not catching that error, you naughty person? Oh, console.log. I did catch the error. It just didn't tell you. Whoops. Let's try it again. No, you didn't catch the error. You're very naughty. Why are you not doing your job, little error try catcher? Trying to grab that and move it over, but it doesn't want to move. That seems weird. Is it that my logging set to false, or if I set my logging to true, am I going to get slightly better error handling? Connect to database. There's definitely something going on, but that's handled somewhere else. Okay, well, I'll put that on the bug list. You have to send it. if at the moment if you don't send the body, then you get the problem. Okay, so it is correct now. We'll send the correct email and password. We'll say email is kevin@kevincunningham.co.uk and password is password. I don't know, what are you watching? I'm adding to my Fastify application that I'm on my YouTube channel, and what I'm trying to do is add username and password and JWTs to that. At the moment, what I'm checking is can I get the username and password and verify they're right before I do anything else. That's sort of the aim of what I'm aiming to do. But thanks for checking. So at the moment, what have we got? Oh, I've got lost here. So if it is a match, we'll say that, and then I guess if it is, I'll return reply.send a message. It was a match. So let's try and see if that works. So if this goes back, I get it was a match, brilliant. If I do the wrong password, it's going to come back with incorrect password. If I do the wrong email, it's going to come back with user not found. So we're doing well. Okay, so if it's a match, what do I want to do? Instead of just replying, I want to create a web token. And effectively what I would like to do is create a web token of the user object. So I'll do fastify.jot.sign, and I'm going to pass in the payload, which is going to be the user object. And then I will, not do what I just did there, I will reply.send the token and return the token. Alrighty. So if it was a match, I am not getting anything back. Why am I not getting anything back? Why am I not getting anything back? That is the wrong thing. This is the right thing. An error down here. Ah, here we go. Cannot read properties of undefined reading sign. Now my thing, I thought that should be possible because I registered. This here, and this happens further down. I'll try again. It might be just I didn't restart the server. No. Okay. Interesting. Interesting, Mr. Bond. It says, can we report undefined reading sign? I did catch an error, I just didn't tell you. Amazing. So our error handler is working further down. Whoops. But we're getting, so fastify.jot. Doc said that's how it should work. Interesting. Oh, I know why. It's because it's trying to get Fastify from here, but I really want to get Fastify from. Yeah, I see the problem. Again, this is how I've structured this. It's not great. So I'm going to grab this handler and bring it with me over to the to user roots and do it inline, because I need access to that Fastify rather than the Fastify that is just imported otherwise. So if I cut that, go over here and paste that in there, I think that should fix the problem. So I think I should get a token now. Brilliant, I didn't. Hello, good plan comes together, but it's a slightly different. User is not defined now. Okay, so it's a different error. Different errors mean that we're making progress. Let's import user. So const user equals require model user model. Let's try that now. Hey, we've got a token. Hey Zoe, good morning. I'm fine, thank you. Hope you're well. So we now have this token. So we have provided a login path. It takes username and password and it returns a token. Now this token if I grab this token and I go to a site like JWTIO, yeah, and I paste my token in here. Oops, just the token, not the JSON wrapper. Paste it in here. Then this is telling me some interesting stuff. I've got, it tells me the algorithm, the red bit at the start. Oh, I need to get rid of that code. There we go. So the red bit at the start is telling me the algorithm. The red bit, the type is saying the JWT. The purple bit, this is what's in the payload, the ID and the password. And if I put my secret here, which was, if I put my secret here, which was this is very secret, then this is going to be the correctly decoded password. So what am I doing? So I have a YouTube series at the moment, which I haven't touched in a long time, on my YouTube channel, Do Learning. One of the things it has is this building a Fastify application and securing it. And we've looked at two different types of securing Fastify routes. First, it was just with an API header. Then it was username and password. And this is the next one in that series, which hasn't been touched in a year. So next one in that series, which is using JWT or JWTs to be able to protect routes going on there. Okay, does that make sense to you? Hope it does. So that's the plan. So we're effectively protecting our API route, and we have a token that's doing the right thing. Probably want to restructure this code a little bit, but so far it's doing okay. Now that we have we were kind of aiming to do two things. Provide a login route that that the user takes username and password. We've done that one. Okay, so we can put like a big tick beside that one. Yay! Oh, not with that tool though. With here, we say yay, big tick for that one. We now need to protect routes with JWTs, and to do that, validate the JWT and move it through. So let's see how we're going to validate the JWT. So I want to protect this this bit. So it's, at the moment, getting all the routes, we're using basic auth. I want to protect it. Before that, I want to test it with what I want to protect it with. I want to protect it with our JWTs. So I'm going to at this point I'm going to change this to an on request handler because this is going to happen further back. I'm going to say on request. I want to, what do I want to do? I want to authenticate my user. So how would I do that? I maybe have a function that's going to have my request and my reply, and I'm going to, what would I do there? Maybe a try catch would have a wait, should be asynchronous, so I need to fix that in a second. A wait request dot JWT verify. That the library that we imported makes that available. Otherwise, we want to return a reply.send error. So I think now, so this is on the get all projects. So I think if I try to get all projects now, error is not defined. Amazing. I called error here. Let's try again. So no authorization was found in request.headers. Brilliant. So I'm going to go to my authorization. I'm going to change this to bearer token. I'm going to send it now. Now it says the token is malformed. So I'm going to copy this token that we created here and stick it here. I'm going to send it back, and it has worked. Amazing. If the token's wrong, so if this was like 5 instead of there, then it's going to say token signature is invalid. So it's verified the token, and importantly, it's done that without having to do another database check. So it's sped things up. It will speed things up going forward. But this is looking pretty ugly. So what we'd like to do is tidy this up a little bit. I want to do that using a plugin. And I think I mentioned earlier that when I first started writing this project about a year and a half ago, I was mostly working with JavaScript and Express. Now I'm largely working with TypeScript and Fastify. So I do things slightly differently now, but I'm just going to keep going and not change too much in one go. So I'm going to create a plugin, and to do that I'm going to use Fastify plugin, which I don't know if I got installed in this library yet. I don't. I'll need to install it. So npm install Fastify plugin. What Fastify plugin allows me to do is it allows me to create plugins for my API I can then use later on. So I'm going to module.exports from the file, module.exports, FP. So that's this Fastify plugin. I need to wrap it inside of there, and then Fastify does a lot of the work. The function that it passes in takes Fastify and the options, and then it registers our Fastify thing. So I'm going to go back over here. So rather than registering in line over there, I'm going to register over here. And the reason I'm doing that is I can use something called fastify.decorate, and I can call it authenticate, say. And what that makes authenticate, I think that's about right. And what that allows me to do is have a function that will be invoked when I do fastify.authenticate later on. I can use that in some useful way, and I can say I'm basically changing Fastify to do what I want it to do. So what do I want authenticate to do? So it's going to be an async function, it's going to be request and reply, and it's going to do that bit that I did in line inside of my project model here. Would I do that inside the project over here? Where is it? No, in the roots maybe? Hey, it's going to do this bit here. So grab this function, content, try catch, take this, and go back to my plugin. So it's going to do that bit there, going to request there, which doesn't look maybe that much better, that much exciting. Files common JS module. Okay, I think that should be okay. So now what I'm going to do is back on this file, I'm going to get my job plugin, which is require plugin. It's called plugins to be consistent, and I'm going to register it. Fastify.register my jot plugin. So that hopefully means instead of having to do all this malarkey in line, I can say on request, can you do fastify.authenticate? Let's start my server again, npm dev. And I'm hoping if I send this now, this works. If I don't send a token, it's going to not work. No authorization was found. This token, if I send this token, then I'm going to get a authorization token was invalid. Correct token, then it's going to go back again. So now anything that I want to do is going to be there. But the other thing I have is once this has been done, once this authenticate method has happened, it adds on to the user object. It adds on to the request object, sorry, and adds the user object to it. So get all projects is here. What's interesting is I now have access to request.user. So if I do this again, I have access to the user object that was sent back. At the moment it's just the ID and the password, but I maybe would say, hey, I want other things. And how do I do that? Well, when I change my login route. So let's go back to my login and fix that. Fix is probably the wrong word, but back to my login here. And when I do this payload, at the moment I'm just payloading with the user, I can sort of be really specific. I can say, hey, my payload is going to have maybe the login time, which is the new date, Maybe what else could we put in here that might be useful? The user name, which is going to be the email, and what else could we have? Anything else we get back in this user object? It's the role. So the role, which is user.role. Alrighty, let's see if that worked. So I'm going to log in, and when I log in, I get this new token. I'm going to send this token over the wire, which should be valid. It is, because I get a response back just to prove it. If I don't have a token in there, then it's going to be there. But what should be logged onto the console then is, brilliant, where is it? The login time and the username. So those things that I added, apparently I got rule wrong, but I don't know why. User. See what the crack is. Let's do our login thing again, just see what I did wrong there, because I've obviously made a mistake. That's interesting. This was only returning. I know why. Because I'm just selecting the password here. So I think if I do password and role there, then does that give me the password and the role? No. Says, hey Kevin, you got it wrong. You're a twit. Sorry. It's not user. It's not even match password. Am I getting the password? Password and user dot password. User compare password. That's fine. It says select password. I'm trying to flag this without having to go and look it up, but I'm hoping that it's like that, maybe an array of things I want to get back again. That didn't fail. That to give me my role. Yes, lagging works. So then I copy this key, bring this over here, and my user object. I might get a log to the console will have the role and the login time and the username. So that's all in that token and ready to go. So what's interesting is that the content of that token is decipherable by anyone. Okay, it's decipherable by anyone. So as a team member, so we shouldn't put any confidential information inside of the JWT. Anything that's sort of dangerous, we shouldn't put in there. But what will happen with our this is an invalid signature apparently, but if I put my actual key in, which is this is very secret, which is apparently a weak secret, then my signature is verified. If I put in the wrong secret, do I need to refresh it? So it's updating this as it goes. It's so annoying. So the wrong secret's there, right? So sorry, let me just see what's going on. So I'm going to put in my this. I can't even remember what my key is. So my .env. I'm going to put in my this is very secret. That's my token over here. Okay. Now the problem is this is being updated as I do this, so it's hard to show. So this is very secret, and then I'm going to paste my token in, and that is a signature verified. That works. If I change this to something else, and then paste in the original key again, it comes back as an invalid secret. So the data is readable by anyone, but the signature is only going to be validated by the server when it matches the what it expects when the signature bit at the end matches. So the JWT is split up in three parts, separated by decimals or by periods or full stops. This is describing the algorithm, the type. This is the payload, so this is the bit that has login time, username, and role, and then this is the signature where it's going to be verified, and it combines the header, the payload, and the secret to try to get things going on. Hello, how are you doing? Let's see. I think we're just about there. So I'll talk through what we did. Protect root with JWTs, and we are there, which is great. So if you just joined us, we're almost done. So I just want to explain what's been going on. So about a year ago, This is my YouTube channel, Do Learning. Got a mere 299 subscribers. But about a year ago, I started this series. And this is 1 year ago, but I think there's probably more going on. It's part of a playlist of building API routes or securing API routes. If I just find, here we go. Don't play them all though. Okay, so it started in, when's that? It says 1 year ago, it's not helpful either. So it's a while ago. We built an API, made it CRUD with Mongo and Fastify. We protected our routes with Next API key. We protected our routes with username and password. And the aim of this video was to protect our routes using JWTs or JWTs. And so we did that. And how do we do that? We did that with a library called JWT. A library called Fastify JWT. And what that allows us to do is it allows us to do, yay, thanks Faris. Faris has become my 200 subscriber. Woo! Well, welcome. Where you will, the next video that will be out will be the video that I make based on this content. So if you've missed any stuff, then hopefully it'll be useful. So what we're aiming to do is to verify our JWTs. So we had to add a new route. And the route that we added was /login for our users. And our user, we got the email and password from the body, we checked it existed, we then checked that it matched in the database who we expected it to be. And then we created a token, a JWT token, a JSON web token, and we sent it back to the user. And so that's what's happening on this route. I'm sending a username and password, and I'm getting back this token. Now, any route I want to protect, I can use that token to verify myself without going to do that database check, which is awesome. It means I don't have to go and get details from the database. I can keep those all. It speeds things up while keeping my application secure. So in future, like this get all programs is a protector, get all projects, sorry, is a protected route. So I've gone to auth, I've gone to bearer token, and I pasted that token over here that I generated, and that allows me to get back the 0 projects that are currently in this database. If there was, if I do that wrong, it's going to tell me, hey, you got a wrong token, and you need to do something about what's going on, and you know the token is invalid. So to do that, we created a plugin. The plugin decorates the Fastify instance with this thing called Authenticate. Authenticate then can be used anywhere I want to protect a route. So how do I do that? I do it like here. Say on request fastify.authenticate. And so I can do that anywhere now. At the moment I can get all users, just to show I can do this. And at the moment I can get all users and anyone can do this. Okay, whether or not they're authenticated. So if I put this to no auth, whether or not they're authenticated or not, anyone can do this. But if I wanted to protect that, I would go to user routes. I would say, hey, get all users. In between the root and the controller, on request, I think it's capital R, on request, can you do fastify.authenticate. So now, if I try to do this with no authentication, I get no authorization was found. If I add my authentication now, then I get my users back as normal. So I'm going to go away and use all the things I found as I recorded this live to make this a slightly better and snappier video. Thank you for being here, and yeah, I shall hopefully see you around soon. See you later.